My name's Sandy Wilkerson. I'm 38. I got 2.5 kids. I did 7 years flat.
I was charged with first degree arson, second degree burglary. The thing with my crime was I took the charge to keep my ex-wife out of jail. We had possession of stolen property that me and the sheriff had already bumped heads, so we didn't get along. And to make things easier on my wife and my best friend, I took all charges.
My first crime was committed at the age of 7 years old.
Wow.
The only two things my dad taught me was how to box and loose cars.
6 months after I got incarcerated, my wife, the one I took the charges for, left. That hurt. Of course, I blame God for it. Went to the Bible and told me, look, it's you say, that what you bring together, that no man separate, so, why are you doing it to me,
Just being away from my kids, and having, people come up and visit me, really hurt.
I got in trouble a few times, being locked up, I was in segregation one or a few times.
We locked up 24 hours a day. You don't come out of it, you got a one-man cell. It's maybe like a 5 by 9.
Okay.
Anytime you come out your cell, you're escorted, you're handcuffed.
I'm in there and I just got tired, and
being honest, I was thinking about hanging myself. I had already tied the sheet up, and I get a letter that come by from mail call, so I threw the sheet up on top of the locker, because the lockers are above, and I got a letter from my daughter. No, I got a letter from my best friend and my daughter. I read my best friend's first, and she was telling me that her brother had passed away. He hung himself. So I'm like, well, that's confirmation. That's what I'm supposed to do. Nobody's gonna mess with me. I really thought that my kids would be better off, without me.
And then I'm looking at my daughter's letter, and I just tied the shit around my neck, and something told me to
read her letter. And she started off telling me how much she loved me.
And so it's just like there's no time.
Take your time.
How proud of me she was. So.
That was really my breaking point. I told God, man, and, do whatever you want, I can't
do this no more. I said, every other time I didn't care, Growing up, I knew, it was a matter of time before I went to prison, I ain't gonna sit here and lie and say, that I didn't think I was gonna go. I knew sooner or later I was gonna go to prison. I used to be so bad, my own mama used to swear up and down I would live to see the age of 17.
I had a real good friend named Bobby Ramirez, who kind of busy, busy like saying, come to house church. I'm like, no, you come with me one night. And so we made a deal, he comes to mine, I go to his.
That first night, I just had a feeling, that that's where I'm supposed to be at. I don't know what it was, because like I said, I really didn't want to know.
We meet in like a little classroom at the trustee camp, and it was really, more like just, a get together, that we talked about house church and everything like that. That's when, I met my best friend.
I'm 38. I've been to church off and on my whole life. I have never called nobody my pastor. The preachers, that's what you are. That's your title. The Parris is my pastor. But the first thing I tell everybody is, quit trying to put the pieces back in your life. You know, like, you know, our lives are like a puzzle. You know, it's piece after piece after piece. That everybody at one point in their life is going to be broken. You know, and you can try to fix it all you want. You know, you can put duct tape on it, super glue it. You know, make it look good from the outside, but yeah, underneath everything is always going to be broken. And the more you try fixing it, the more broken it's going to be, until, you know, you basically put everything in God's hands. And trust me, you know, I know it's not easy. You know, I'd give something to God, 2 or 3 days later, you know, I'd go take it back from him, you know, try to fix it again myself, and, you know, make it worse. You know, I'm 38. You know, I've been married 2 times. You know, I tried to fix both my marriages afterwards. You know, made them worse. You know, so, you know, there's gonna come a point in everybody's life, you know, that you're gonna have to go to God. You know, He's always there for you. You know, we're the ones that turn away from Him. You know, society didn't want me. You know, I was an endangerment to society. You know, I was an endangerment to my family, myself. You know, I can touch people's lives that a lot of people can't. You know, I started off at the age of 7. You know, I know what it's like gang banging. You know, I know what it's like trying to, you know, impress people. You know, I know what it's like, you know, living a lifestyle some people just dream of. And it's, in the long run, it's not worth it, you know. The only thing that matters is, you know, doing the work for Jesus. And that's one of the things that I appreciate so much, you know, with my pastor Parris, you know, because here I am in prison, you know, in 7 years I got 4 visits, you know. But yeah, he's taking time out of his life, you know, to come see us, you know, away from his family to come see me, you know. And whenever he involved me, you know, in his life, in his, you know, his family's lives, you know, that meant a lot. So I don't believe in coincidences, nothing like that, you know. God put him in my life for a reason. There's over 130 something, you know, TDC units in Texas. You know, why they started off at our unit? You know, he's close to Sugar Land. They could have started off at Darrington. You know, but God put that in my unit for a reason. And I don't just owe him, myself, you know, my kids, society. You know, I owe you, you know, I owe God, you know, the payback. I'm good with kids. You know, I love kids, and I can understand where they come from. You know, you got cops going to schools talking to them. A kid can't relate to a cop. I mean, there ain't no way. Right. You know, cop don't know what a gangbanger's lifestyle is. You know, he can't relate to them. You know, I can. You know, I mean, 13 years old in TYC back in the 80s. You know, I mean, and you know, and being a Crip, it wasn't easy at all. You know, I was raised up a fighter. I used to love to fight. You know, the only fight that I do now is for Jesus. You know, I won't lose. You know, I've been called a knockout artist, and that's what I'm doing for Jesus. You know, I will knock out anything that comes in my, you know, in my way. You know, I'm not afraid to tell anybody, you know, about Jesus. I don't care what you're wearing, what color you are, you know, where you at, who you with. You know, anything I don't know, I know at any time. You know, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, I can call Parris or his wife. You know, and there ain't a doubt in my mind, you know, that him and his family ain't there for me. So, you know, anywhere Jesus wants me to go, you know, I want him to give me a one-way ticket, you know, because I don't want to come back. You know, I want to keep going and going and going. There's always going to be emptiness in somebody's life unless they have Jesus. You know, no matter what you do, drugs, girls, cars, money, you know, none of that's going to fill that spot. You know, don't be afraid to call him. He's there 24/7. You hear people talk about they're real, you know, they're human, they're not. The only real person you're ever gonna meet is Christ Himself. You know, just I really hope that anything I say to y'all, you know, can help y'all in any kind of way. You know, I mean, you know, don't be afraid to call on Jesus.